Hey everyone, this is Gary K, and welcome to episode 1200. I saved 1200 for the company that's making currently my favorite product in the entire industry, Logitech. They have the Logi Dock product. And Nathan, congratulations, you're on episode number 1200.
I'm honored to be here. I didn't
I
know
know.
that coming to this session, so that's great. That's awesome.
So
That's a lot. That's a lot of videos. A lot of videos.
1,199 episodes later, it's you and me. Uh,
It's awesome.
all right, so
I'm glad. I was upset that I didn't have an invite before, so I'm glad I'm here now. So
we gave you an extra special. So we're heading to ISE. You're heading to ISE 2023. This is a pre-ISE video cast. Logi's going to be in booth 2M400. And in fact, yesterday, you just launched a new camera line, the 305, which sort of brings a whole new client base into the Logi ecosystem. Talk about that and kind of what you're planning on doing at ISE.
sure. So the 305 is our newest web camera. I have one right here. It's actually a fairly iconic design. Um, I was telling this to another person the other day, but I remember
I know exactly what that design is.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. So if you remember a QuickCam, right? The QuickCam,
Yep. Oh, yeah.
QuickCam Connect back in the day, I remember spending, I think, a couple $100 for one, maybe late 90s.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it had a serial port. I'm sure.
I definitely
Maybe
had a serial port.
it
Yes.
didn't it?
Yeah, it definitely had a serial
Um,
port.
but I mean, so we went back. We are like, hey, we've been making webcams for over 3 decades now. Let's take an iconic design, and let's modernize it. And we did that. We put a 3-hinge design on it.
Yep.
It's a 70 degree FOV camera. It's 1080p, and it's meant for every desk. So this is not the high end. This is not the low end. This is right in the middle. So for every worker that's coming in, maybe you have a hot desk, or maybe you're sitting the same distance from your display every day. It's kind of like that everyday camera, and the quality is amazing. So
Yeah, you're forgetting a very important piece. You realize that the thing that's going to sell this camera is the design, but you're forgetting the most important part of the design. This thing comes in a bunch of different colors,
it
including
does.
pink. So I can tell you, both my daughters love the design of this. And
Love it.
I think you have a graphite and a white. I can't remember off the top of my head. There are other colors as well, but I know I saw the pink.
Yeah, so the ones in business are rose is what we call our pink,
Okay.
off white, which is this one I just showed you.
Mm-hmm.
Then graphite's it's not exactly black; it's more charcoal.
Yep.
And then Amazon has a special version as well, the Brio 301, that will be available in all black. So
Okay.
yeah, 4 colors, and in business there'll be the 3 colors. Obviously,
Yeah.
retail will be the same 3 colors, but Amazon has an exclusive with black only.
Yeah, and it's smart. I thought it was smart that you went to 1080 because there's a lot of hype around those types of cameras being 4K. But the truth of the matter is, you can't use them in 4K with any of these platforms yet. So you've got a lot of overkill there with that. I think that hits a really good sweet spot right in the middle. I talked about up front about the Logi Dock. That
Mm-hmm.
product, it's won a bunch of awards. Just keeps getting a bunch of awards. I'm happy to say I gave it one of the first awards. I knew about it before Time Magazine knew about it.
Yeah,
And I know Time
absolutely.
Magazine gave it an award. So I feel vindicated, validated, I guess.
Absolutely.
But talk about that product. That product's probably one of the most popular products you've ever had.
It is, and it's amazing. Like it's a great product in itself when you think about what it's priced at, the feature
Mhm.
set, the meeting controls, the speaker audio, the docking components, the lights. There's so many pieces that make it an awesome all-in-one tool. But I'll be honest, until you actually use it, you really don't understand the value of it, especially if you're going from meeting to meeting, from Google Meet meeting to Microsoft meeting to Zoom meeting. This is even WebEx meetings, right? It works with every platform. It gives you
Yeah.
those visual indications. That's really when the power of this tool is really cool. And interestingly enough, yes, we won a lot of great awards and we're honored by that. But we built this for the home office, but it's made its way into offices as well. So because people are saying, hey, for a private office, this is great. For a small meeting booth for ad hoc meetings, this is great. For obviously the home user, this is fantastic because it pulls all those pieces in together. So we're just ecstatic about the support and the love we're getting from all the different vendors on awards and how they like the product.
Well, I know you'll have your Logitech Sight camera which is your AI powered camera for meeting rooms. That's going to be popular at ISE. What else are you showing in your booth at ISE?
So we're showing. Well, first of all, we focus on 2 areas. We focus on the personal workspace and then
Mm-hmm.
obviously Teams workspace. So we've talked about products that span both already, and we'll have all our current generation products that are available in September, we announced the Brio 505, which is the big brother of the 305. It's got multiple FOEs, a lot more features, like show mode is one of them, where you can flip your camera down and see what's on your desk, and it enhances the drawings and stuff like that. We also announced Vibe, which is our headset that I had here, and here it's a super flexible headset. It's just super comfortable, memory foam like pads. This is available in retail already. The business version is about to come out. And then the other thing I'd say is, our partnerships. We've got so many partnerships. I can't even remember how many different partners who have their own booths are demonstrating our own products in their own booths. But a couple of the ones that are in our booths, Claris, who makes these beautiful whiteboards, some of them have custom notches for our whiteboard camera. So our Scribe whiteboard camera has a notch where you can mount it, and then you can move this whiteboard everywhere as you need to. And a number of other partners are going to help us kind of tell that story as well. So the good news is that, yes, we build products that are standalone, but we're also extensible. And we're working with furniture manufacturers and whiteboard manufacturers to make sure our products fit together really well.
Well, a big discussion point over the last, especially last year, as we've started to have going back to the office half at a time, right? There's half of us there, half of us not there. And even when all of us are there, there's still only half of us there. Is meeting equity, right?
Yep.
It's the fact that you have people, and I think brands like Logitech have done a phenomenal job meeting equity for those that are not in the meeting room. I think the experience remote is way better than it used to be. I'm curious how you feel about where you are. How would you grade Logitech on how you're doing for the in-room experience, for connecting the people in the room to the people who are remote, to make them feel like they're part of one? Because I feel like that's the missing link.
I agree, and I think even with Sight's a major step forward.
Yeah.
And Sight will be out later on the summer, but Sight's a huge step forward in my opinion. But we're not going to know how well, like what's missing. I think this is just an iterative process. We're going to keep iterating. Obviously, once the product comes out, we can make amends in software. We can enhance the AI. A lot of things we can do. But I think the big, I wouldn't say shock, because this problem has been around for a long time. We just haven't solved for it, right? And we haven't solved for it because not that many people were working from home.
Yeah, and the person who wasn't very important.
Right. And in fact, I had that. I remember I'd be like, oh gosh, Nathan's working from home again. He's clearly not working. He must be like in a sauna or something, right? And I've heard people say that before, so I know it's true. And by the way, I was not in the sauna, at least not most of the time. But I think the interesting part is that we had this issue where I'd be at home and I'd connect to the meeting, and there's 19 people in the meeting, and you can't see anything.
Yeah.
Right. You can see the share, but you don't know who's speaking. You get dizzy when the cameras move back and forth. The person at the end of the table is always blurry. This stuff has existed for a long time. So we've solved this in two ways. Number one, we fixed the front of room camera framing. So we've got speaker view and now grid view, which allows in Zoom, allows you to do 5 streams. So you see those 4 active speakers in the room view. So you have context of what people are doing. Are they high-fiving each other? Are they slipping notes to each other in the room?
Yeah.
But we knew that the front of room system can only carry the meeting so far in terms of meeting equity.
Right.
Because you're always going to see sides of heads.
Yep.
You're always going to see back of heads. You're always going to see this other stuff that doesn't frame well. So Sight's going to solve for that, because now it's going to automatically figure out where you're looking, frame you, and send it to the far end. So if I'm sitting at home, and it's why you see all the ads that we're building, we're trying to build this system where the end user in the room doesn't have to worry about where they're looking or how they're speaking. They just have a natural conversation. Yeah. And for us, it's great because you always get the best view. So I think this is a great step in the right direction. I don't think we're there yet. I think
I would throw out a challenge to Zoom and Teams to pick up the phone and call Logitech, because I think between the two companies, y'all could do some amazing things. I think the in-room experience is the area. I think I applaud Microsoft Teams for front row, but no one wants to be stared at all the time. No one wants to be on that front row. I mean, if you think about it, you talk to people, most people don't go sit down on the front row. So conceptually, I think it's interesting, but I think it's not the total solution. I definitely am a big proponent of putting more cameras than 1 or 2 in a room. I also think that, you're one of those companies that really has the opportunity to really provide this, because you have affordable cameras.
Yes.
So why not put, instead of 2 cameras in a room, Nathan, why not put 6 or 7? Like, why not surround the room and allow people to have multiple views? And then that's why I think Zoom and Teams need to talk to you, because they need you to be able to have access to enabling camera switching and features like that that shouldn't be only accessed by IT managers, but should be
Right.
accessible by the people that are in meetings. That's my take on it.
So,
What do you
so
think?
here's the good news. There's good news in all of this. We're already, I mean, we have obviously really deep alliances with Microsoft, Google, as well as Zoom, and they're already testing this stuff in beta. They've already announced things
Okay,
like Zoom
good.
announced Director AI. We know Microsoft is really far down the path in enabling a lot of this. It's just time and engineering, is what it is. So we're providing the hardware. We're even going to do all the software stitching. So when we hand the feeds off to all those providers, they know what to do with the feeds, and then from the end user perspective, they get the best view. So it's all happening. It's going to take some time. That's why I said this is a couple of years in the making, where there are going to be some first MVP features, and then there'll be a few more after that. We're going to get a lot of great feedback. Like, for example, Front Row, as you mentioned, is awesome for executive meetings, right? Because you have 5 people in a room, you want
If
to
there's
connect.
right, if there's 3 people remote and three
Right.
people, yeah, agree.
Right.
Yeah.
So it depends on the, and not every room is going to be a front room type
Right.
system, right? It's going to be more executive. It's going to be more one-on-ones. So we definitely believe that. But you're right. We make affordable products from like the low end to the high end, and you can make all these different possibilities come true. And it's definitely changing. The space as we knew it from 5 years ago is completely different today.
Yeah, and we've
So we have
moved
to
our
adapt.
company into a co-working space. So if you could invent the cone of silence, that would be really helpful, because it's really irritating people when people are next to each other on meetings. What do you say about that? When you have, now we're all going back to the office and 2 people have a video call scheduled at the same time and they're only 2 cubicles away. What's the solution there?
The right noise canceling gear, quite honestly. Clearly, you're not going to be on a Logi dock call then, or at least you would have a dock and you would, like, switch to a
Yeah.
headset. But that's what noise canceling is for, and that does it really well. And that's what open space, certifications are meant to do, is making sure that you can have this comfortable meeting. And when you're talking on the phone, the people can't hear the stuff that's going around you, and
Yeah.
you can be isolated from them. So it's been around for a while, and it's definitely changed a lot. And I think through AI, which almost all the new headsets now have. They're
Yeah.
constantly monitoring for dog sounds and everything else in the background. And by the way, so is the video platform.
Yeah.
So Zoom's doing it, Microsoft's doing it, everyone's
Yeah.
doing it. So it's going to get better over time. It's not perfect by any means,
Yeah.
but it's a lot better than talking in a speakerphone and listening to your neighbor crunch down chips or something like that.
It's funny how fast things innovated during the pandemic with regard to some of these things that we all knew that existed forever. And you're right. I mean, what happened before the pandemic was the person, no offense to you, Nathan, the person who was remote wasn't the CEO or the C-suite person, but now the person remote in a lot of cases is. So I think that's why we have to pay attention to this. And I think, first off, follow your blog. It's blog.logitech.com. That's where you can find out everything that's going on at Logitech. Go to logitech.com. Actually, I stuck a link in here that describes what they're going to do at ISE. And I want to thank you for being on episode 1200.
Oh, absolutely. Honored to be here.
Honestly, I didn't even know this was episode 1200 until right before we started. Carrie said this is episode 1200. So I'd be honest with you, it wasn't an intentional invite, but congratulations either way, because I love your Logi doc, and at a minimum, you should have gotten a shout out for that.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it, and appreciate the time as usual.
Yeah, thank you. And I hope you're not going over to ISE on the Titanic in the background back there. I hope you're flying over, and we'll see you over there in your booth at ISE. I'm excited. You're going to be again at 2M400. We're going to go there and cover everything. We're going to shoot videos. If you're not going to ISE, don't worry, we got you covered. Just go to rAVepubs.com/ISE. Nathan, thank you very much for being here today.
Thanks, Gary. See you in Barcelona.
And we will see you too. And you can see all of our video casts that we do all the time at rAVepubs.com.